Eller, alltså jag tror liksom inte att tonen blir som att ja, nu tar vi oss badkläder och jättebra och på dricka. Ja, så sitter vi bara så och
Hello, everybody. This is Sisterhood Through the Leaf again, and we're back with another interview from a Black Cigar Line owner. Today we have Aric Bey. Now, Aric Bey is the owner and curator of the cigars for the cigar line Black Star Line. He is out of Chicago, retired firefighter. He's Greek. He's a Kappa.
Yo.
And we're gonna talk to Aric about his experiences in the cigar world and what inspired him to jump in. So let's invite Aric on board with us. All right,
Hey, what's
Mr.
happening?
Bey, how are you this afternoon?
I'm good. How about you?
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Good.
Good.
Good. So I just told the folks that you are the owner of Black Star Line Cigars, and I hinted to your previous life's career. If you want to jump in and tell the folks how being a firefighter in Chicago led you to, jumping in the cigar world.
Well, yeah, as you stated, I'm a retired Chicago firefighter. I got hurt on the job. I tore my labrum in my hip real bad. So it was actually torn so bad I had to go through 4 doctors to find one that was confident enough to fix it. And then he fixed it, but kind of didn't fix it. So it still hurts. It actually hurts while I'm sitting here. So that's why I'm retired, because I can't put on 100 pounds of weight and go to work and get on somebody's roof in the middle of Chicago winter. So while I was still an active firefighter, I started Black Star Line, actually right here in my garage. I started smoking full time in the firehouse, and that's where I really learned the love of the leaf. So I was sitting here in the garage, and I was like, man, it was time. I felt like it was time for me to start a business. I just didn't know what it was, and it was like, the voices, the ancestors in my head were like, man, look at your hand, like you love the tobacco in your hand so much, you should try to make a run at that. So I contacted my childhood friend Derek and asked him, did he want to help me start a cigar line? So he was like, hell yeah, let's do it. So so we started networking at Drew Estate events, and that's how it became real cool with Jonathan Drew. Jonathan Drew encouraged us to talk to El Titan de Bronze, or El Titan de Bronze, as some people say, down in Miami, and that's Willie Herrera's family from Drew Estate. So I was contacting them for a long time. I couldn't get in touch with Sandy because her mother was sick. And actually she passed away late last year, so she's not with us anymore. But yeah, so Sandy wasn't in the factory that much at the time because she was taking care of her mom. So we kept calling, kept getting the runaround, and I finally decided, I was like, hey, I'm gonna send some flowers down there to keep me on their mind, and also my ulterior motive was to get the cigars done through El Titan de Bronze. So sent the flowers, still didn't hear anything. So about 2 months later, I was like, man, the voices in my head, the same ancestors and stuff told me like, yo, you need to call right now. So I called down there, and Giselle answered the phone. That's Willie Herrera's wife, Sandy's daughter. So I asked for Sandy. Giselle was like, oh yeah, she's right here. So then Sandy gets on the phone. I tell her who I was, and she was like, hey, you the nice guys from Chicago that sent me those flowers a couple of months ago, right? I said, yeah, that was me. So she said, you know how to treat a woman, so due to that, I'm gonna do these blends for you. So my first 2 blends came out of El Titan de Bronze down in Miami. And then I met Sean Williams, and Sean Williams introduced me to Terrence Riley at Aganorsa. So, and then that's what started my career with Aganorsa, and that's what gave birth to Warwich. And then once Warwick came, I just started doing the line of stuff through Aganorsa. So the majority of my stuff is rolled by Aganorsa, but I also work with Oveja Negra. I also work with Tabacleta La Isla. I also work with La Zona, Eric Espinosa.
This Warwich is beautiful. It
Yes.
is like a really
Thank
good
you.
smoke. I am really enjoying it. It's
Thank
not
you.
like peppery, but I do taste a little bit of spice in the beginning. It's very, very smooth, kind of creamy. I like
Mm.
it. I like it. It's a really good stick. Great job.
You get a
Thank
lot
you.
of
I appreciate
creaminess
it.
and spice on that retro hail. I enjoy that.
Hmm. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Yeah, when Warwick came, it became the flagship of the company. So it really drove us. It really got us a lot of accolades because the original Warwick is a Connecticut shade. The follow-up version to it is Dark Warwick, which is the same blend, but it's a Corojo 99 wrapper instead of a Connecticut shade. And then there's Molijero in Dark Warwick, so it's a little bit stronger than the Connecticut Warwick is. Not to say that the Connecticut Warwick is mild, because it's not. It's not your grandfather's Connecticut where it's just mild and boring. It's got flavor, it's got spice, it's got strength. It's got what you would want for abnormal Connecticut cigar. So,
Tell us about this name, Warwick. Who's the Warwick?
Warwick. Warwick is the Warwick is a movie. Yeah. See, the Warwick is a movie. It's filmed in the Congo. And it's about a young lady that has spiritual powers to be able to see her ancestors. So the local army took her with them. So anytime the army would get ready to get attacked, the ancestors would show up and they would warn them like, "Hey, you either strategize or fight or run." So I thought that was a great movie. So I took the name.
I like it. Strongly aligned with Black History Month. Strong Black women, ancestors.
So Aric is very intentional with all of his names, including Black Star Line itself. Um,
Yeah,
could you speak a little bit about what inspired you for the specific uses of the names of both Black Star Line and the names of your cigars?
yeah, of course. So Black Star Line, I got that from Marcus Garvey. So the Black Star Line freight line, it was Marcus Garvey's shipping company. So his idea was to ship people and goods back to Africa, but he was buying dilapidated ships, so he didn't make it that far. He was only going to the islands like the Bahamas and around in that area. So he got the name from the White Star Line. The White Star Line is the company that built the Titanic. So I wanted to pay homage to Marcus Garvey because a lot of people don't know anything about him. You might know about Malcolm X, you might know about Martin Luther King, Medgar Evers, go on and on. But a lot of people don't talk about Marcus Garvey as much as they talk about them. And what a lot of people don't know is Marcus Garvey influenced Malcolm X. So he was Malcolm X's predecessor as far as, supporting Black people and that type of thing. So I wanted to shine some light on him and always have his energy with me. Now, with my cigars, like El Milagro means the miracle. El Milagro was my very first cigar. Well, the first two cigars that I did out of El Tito de Browns. It's called El Milagro because the El Milagro, like I said, means the miracle. And I felt it was a miracle I got into the cigar industry because I was having a hard time getting a factory to work with me. But when I finally got that one, that opened the floodgates for everybody else to come and work with me. Lalibela, the stone churches that were built into the ground in Ethiopia. So they're phenomenal structures. Whoever's watching this, if you haven't smoked Lalibela, definitely smoke one. But also while you're smoking it, look up Lalibela and see what the churches look like because they're amazing structures. They should be one of the world wonders of the world, and they're not considered one. But they're phenomenal structures. There's been TV shows done on it, numerous articles. There's a lot of stuff you can learn about Lalibela. We talked about Warwick already. What I'm smoking right now is Maroon. This is the one I did through Espinoza. Maroon in Yoruba tribe in Nigeria means five because this is our 5th year anniversary cigar. So I went simple with it on this one. I just went with a translation of five in Yoruba language. Then you got Mr. Fahrenheit. Mr. Fahrenheit has a firefighter on the band, so I called him Mr. Fahrenheit to pay homage to firefighters. And I also got that name from Queen, "Don't Stop Me Now," because Freddie Mercury sings about Mr. Fahrenheit in the song. Rosewood 1923. It's to pay homage to the victims of the Rosewood race riot in Florida. It also pays homage to my frat brother John Singleton, who did the movie about Rosewood in the early 1990s, early 1990s. So I'm trying to think, did I miss any of the lines? I don't think I did. And then the new one that I got coming out for PCA, I can't talk about that one yet. But to be honest with you, the name that I use for this new one and the story behind it, like literally everybody's gonna be talking about it. It's just it's a it's a small unknown historical fact about a very famous Black person in America, and he dealt with some tobacco and nobody, well, the common person, the common smoker would not know the story until you look it up. So I found it and I'm using it, and it's a phenomenal story. But you have to wait for the press release to come out about that. Then we'll do a follow-up interview and we could talk about it.
Just gonna say you're gonna have to come back.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
You'll have to come back after April.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm.
So, if you could smoke one cigar with any celebrity or historical figure, who would it be? We're talking a lot of history here today. Dead or alive? Dead or alive?
Oh, dead or alive? Maybe Tupac. Yeah, maybe
Ah,
Tupac. I'd like to sit and talk to him. Hmm.
okay. All
Yeah, Tupac will be a good one. Malcolm X will be a good one. Because a lot of great conversations are spawned over smoking cigars and drinking whiskey. So those conversations would be phenomenal. you know, to talk with one of them. You know, um, yeah, there's numerous ones I could think of that I would love to smoke with. I mean, the one that I would really love to smoke with, and he didn't smoke at all, and he's not a celebrity, will be my dad, though. I would love to sit and smoke a cigar with him and talk to him. But he passed away 7 years ago. So
right. Wow. Wow. Oh, that's. I mean, you filled up the room with some impressive people.
mhm. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Hmm. What are some rituals you have when you smoke? You have any rituals, any special things that you do before you have a cigar, after you have a cigar?
No, I'm regular with
No, you just
smoking.
light up.
Cut it, light it. Now, what I
Like,
what I used to do when I'm getting ready for podcasts, I used to play Black Star, most definitely Talib Kweli. I used to play that to get me hyped up, and I light a candle for my dad in here because what a lot of people don't know, and I wasn't really nervous for this one, but I'm typically like extremely nervous for podcasts and interviews. Now, when I actually get on the interview, you'll never be able to tell because I'm just talking, but beforehand, I'm normally I'm kind of shook, I'm nervous. I don't want to say the wrong thing, blah, blah, blah. But at this point, I've done about 1,000 podcasts. So it's like a walk in the park right now. So, but that used to be my podcast ritual though.
that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. What's the most unique place you smoked a cigar? I got a lot of
Unique.
questions, Don.
That's a
Yeah,
good question. Nobody's ever asked me that before.
yeah.
Most unique part. Great. I'll call you back. Um, hmm, maybe in Hawaii because you're not supposed to smoke. Because I used to go to Maui all the time. You're not supposed to smoke there. So that probably would be the most unique place because for one, you're not supposed to do it, and then it's just beautiful while you're doing it. So you know, that would probably be the most unique place I've smoked at.
Nice, nice. This is good. I love all the answers to all the questions and all the
Mhm.
history we're getting this month with our
Absolutely.
guests for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I see you scrolling, Summer.
Yeah, there was one in here that I don't think we touched on that I wanted to touch on, but I want to make sure I ask the question properly. What do you do to give back to the community that you reside in, that buys your cigars, our community as a whole? Is there anything the Black Star Line does that you're particularly proud of that gives back to the community?
Due to the fact we're a small company, I don't have a ton of money, but I do donate a portion of proceeds from Mr. Fahrenheit to Ignite the Spirit, which is a firefighter charity here in Chicago. So it's for fallen firefighters or firefighters that got hurt really bad and that type of thing to support their families. So that's the only one that I have going right now. In the future, I have other ideas of stuff. I have to check with some estates and see if it's okay for me to use a certain person's name and some of the stuff that he put out music wise. And if I get the okay for that, I'll probably develop some kind of scholarship in that person's name for somebody that's going to school. But that's in the development stage right now. I'm not sure if I'll be able to use the material that I'm thinking of.
All Divine Nine, my brother. We love it. We know you know about scholarship, service, all of that. So we can't wait. And maybe we can get a little link um,
Mm.
when we post this podcast for the charity you just mentioned.
Yes.
And
hmm
include that when we upload it. I think we'll be
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
I'm a firefighter's daughter, so I love it.
That's
I
what's up.
love that
I think
mission.
you told me that before. Yeah.
No, I just can't stop telling people about Sergeant Joe Corley. Shout out to the show. Send everybody to college.
Oh yeah. Did you all
Oh
enjoy the halftime
man,
show for the Super Bowl?
I did. I'm a big
Yes.
Kendrick Lamar fan, and so I get it. That's all I can
hmm
say is I get it. I'm a big fan.
I loved every bit of it.
Every bit of the
Every bit of
symbolism.
it. Yeah.
It's time. It's time
Yeah.
for people
Yeah, I
to
enjoyed it.
perform and say what they want to say.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I kind of knew. I've seen his other perform. I've never seen him live, but I've seen him perform um, on video. So I knew he was capable of putting on a very good show. I knew it was going to be very visual. I also knew that if you didn't catch what he's was the symbolism is in it, you might not like it. I also knew if you didn't know his music, you might not like it because he raps fast too. So if you don't know his music, you probably didn't even know what the hell he was saying anyway. Then also, what some of the complaints I heard was it didn't seem like he was really trying to encompass different types of people. It seemed like he just did the show for black people. That's what I heard. And I was like, yeah, no. He's doing him. Yeah, he's doing him. He can't make
Right,
himself different than what he is. So,
right.
he's not Bruno Mars. He's Kendrick Lamar. He
Yeah,
does what he does. So
yeah.
because some people were comparing him to like Bruno Mars's show, and yeah, Bruno Mars will expand over to more white people, Hispanics. Because these things, it's a different genre of music. So I know
Yes.
there's plenty of white people that like Kendrick. I know plenty of Hispanics and of course blacks, but some people felt like he didn't include everybody. And I was just like, you could cry. They
The
cried
question
about
is,
everything about that game. They said the
but did
game
he
was
have
boring.
to?
No, he didn't have to. Nope. He did what he wanted
That's
to
the
do.
point. Correct.
Now,
I've seen him
my
live, and
personal,
it's just like that. It's a
yeah,
show.
my personal, it's not even a complaint. It's just my judgment on it, I guess, is it a lot of the songs that I know he didn't do them. Like I don't really know his latest album because I haven't listened to it enough. So I recognize the songs are off the new album, but I don't know them. So I was kind of just like, my 10-year-old daughter was actually rapping the songs more than I was. Like she knows that album, and I don't know who's playing it for her because I haven't been playing it for her. So I don't know if she's getting a censored version of it or what. But she knew the G and X songs. But then when he went to Humble and DNA, those are the songs, and going back, those are the Kendrick songs I know. You know. So, but overall, I thought it was a great showing. You know.
That new album is fire, so you got to
hmm
check it out.
Is it?
It is
Yes.
fire. Yeah,
I listened to it. I just gotta
listen to it with your daughter. Make
I
sure
gotta listen to it
she knows
again.
what she's talking about.
Yeah, I gotta listen to it again. It wasn't the
Mhm.
first time I listened to it, it wasn't really catching me, you know. Because I mean I'm going back to Kendrick when he was doing Section 80, and I've been with Kendrick for a long
Yeah,
time. So I know a
yeah.
lot of Kendrick music. So it did the last two albums he put out, they were really different than the other ones. And that was, was I got to listen to them a little closer and see what I really think of it, because they weren't catching me right away. So
It's a real creative album. Some great
mhm.
collabos on there too. So check it out.
Yeah.
So speaking of, doing your own thing, being confident in doing your own thing, you very much do that with your cigar line.
Mhm.
How do you see Black-owned cigars evolving in the next few years?
Well, eh, I hate to sound a certain way, but I'm just gonna say it like I feel it. If it's going the way it is, it's not, because a lot of the Black-owned companies that I personally know, they're not developing product. They're buying existing cigars and putting a band on it. And I don't support that at all. Like, if you're gonna be in the cigar business, actually go to the factories and smoke different tobaccos and put them together and see how they smoke together. And if that one fails, you do it over and over and over again. And then when you find a blend and you smoke it when it's first rolled, and then you let it sit for a while and you smoke it again, and you smoke it over different stages, maybe over a month or 2 months, and you keep smoking it and see if it's a product that you actually want to put out. You know, a lot of people, and it's not just Black people, a lot of people think the cigar industry is like a quick, like fast money. It's not. It's not. This is one of the hardest business. I've had other businesses before, and this is the hardest one I've ever had. It seems like every time I get some money, another invoice comes in and that money's gone. So the only way I can see it developing is if more Black-owned companies actually go and develop a product instead of trying to take the easy route out and buying a product that, and that same product is being sold with another band on it in another state. That's not cool. You're cheating the consumer. So I mentor a company here. It's called Flashover Cigars. Actually, Gino and Vic, they were in the Fire Academy with me. So I mentor them. They two great brothers. They developed their product out of Tabacalera La Isla, and they only have one face right now, one blend, one face, and they're working their best to get another face out. So I'm raising them up the right way so they can start developing, keep developing product. So that would be the way for the Black part of the industry to grow, is if, excuse me, if it's starting to be done more so in the right way, instead of trying to be, trying to get a quick buck, because this is not a quick buck industry at all. So
I'm so glad you said that, because I
Yes.
feel like Black smokers are a big customer, are a
Absolutely.
big part of the industry. I don't think the industry would be the same if just Black folks just stopped smoking. So I'm glad you said that about, a lot of people say, "Oh, I have my own cigar company," and they're just putting the label on it. They're just buying a stack, they're buying a roll, and putting the label on it. And sometimes those
yeah,
cigars are not really, they're not good. They're
So
not good at
yeah,
all. So I agree with you. I'm glad you said that.
Yes,
Thank you for
definitely.
that.
and I
and
can
and I
usually
know you can
tell.
say that.
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, when I meet other cigar owners and I start asking questions, and when the answers are suspect, I know what you're doing. So it's like you wouldn't even have to tell me. It's like if I ask you, like, "Hey, man, so what factory rolls your cigars?" And you're like,
Yeah,
yeah, I can't really tell you that. Why not?
yeah.
As you see, when I started the interview, I said I work with Agnosa Leaf, El Tito de Bronze, La Zona, Tabacalera La Isla. I work with Oveja Negra. Like there's like five more factories that want to work with me, and I just haven't. But I could tell you exactly where my cigars are from. I normally don't tell the exact blend of my cigar. I will tell you the regions, but do I know the blends? Yeah, I know them because I did them. So now, do I forget sometimes? Sure. I take a lot of edibles, so sometimes I forget shit, But
That's okay.
That's another show.
But I made my kids, and sometimes I forget their names too. So it's
oh
okay.
yeah, hmm
Well, I think saying that though, that's important for folks um, to hear.
Absolutely.
I think it's super important. If you're going to be a purist, be a
Mhm.
purist.
And that's what sets you
Yeah.
apart from, that makes you a real cigar maker versus someone who just wants the popularity of having a
Yeah.
brand. You're actually making and constructing your cigars down to the filler,
Yeah.
the binder, the wrapper, everything.
Yeah.
What do you like to
Because
drink
it's
with
like,
cigars? Oh,
whiskey.
go ahead.
Whiskey. Yeah. I do not like,
Okay.
I don't like vodka. I can't stand cognac. Well, cognac make me want to fight, so I don't need none of that going on.
Can't be
But
having that.
Irish
yeah.
whiskey? Are we talking some Irish, like some Tillamadoo or?
Oh no, I wouldn't drink Tullamadu.
Really?
I'm a snob when it comes to drinking. So like if we talking Irish whiskey, I have to go with Waterford. Like Waterford is phenomenal. It comes in like an ocean blue bottle, and it literally it tastes like it's water. Like it tastes like purified water, but it's like 100 proof though, and it just tastes so pure. You know, how are they the filtration and whatever they did to distill it? Like it's phenomenal for Irish whiskey. Other Irish whiskey, you do Redbreast 12. You can do Green Spot, Yellow Spot, Red Spot are good. Black Pits by Teeling is a peated Irish whiskey. Um, Now you see, I'm just rattling stuff. I have here. This is my man cave. I mean, I have 90 bottles of whiskey in my garage, so I pretty much have like a
That's another show again.
whole
We got
bar in
another
here.
show out of like 3-4 shows
Yeah,
out of you. You
yeah,
have to come back
yeah,
like all the time.
yeah. So
Oh,
historically, I'm a Scotch guy. Like I like peaty Scotch, like
Mm.
Ardbeg, Lefroy, Kalila, Lagavulin is very good, especially Lagavulin 11. Nick Offerman's version is very good. Bourbons, rare breed bourbon, rare breed rye. I like ryes too. Yeah, it's so much stuff over here. I got Pinhook, Old Soul, New Riff. I got my frat brother's tequila in here. I don't even like tequila, but his tequila is pretty good. It's called Solita. He's based out of Memphis, but it's a black owned tequila. And he's getting distribution in other states. So y'all make sure that if you like tequila, keep an eye out for Solida, Solida, and also follow them on Instagram. It's very good tequila. And this is coming from a non-tequila drinker. I do not like tequila, but his tequila is pretty good. It's actually on like my frat brother. He's from the new chapter of Cap Alpha Psi, and then one of his partners is an Alpha, and I don't know what chapter he's from. But yeah, I when I'm smoking cigars, I drink whiskey.
I like it.
So if you don't follow Aric and Black Star Line, you need to go on their social media. They definitely post quite often pairings with their cigars and
Yeah.
recommended beverages. And when I tell you these gentlemen do recon to the 10th degree, like
Awesome.
they're all over. They know their drinks.
Yeah, if
Good.
you go to our website, blackstarline.shop, on for each cigar, it has the recommended pairing of my cigars on there. So you know you can find it on there. It's blackstarline.shop. So mhm,
Nice.
you know, but yeah, I do special
Somebody you need to
releases for
recommend.
companies. I did two
I think
special
so.
releases for Benny's. Well, that's fuck it. Let's talk about it. Because it's coming soon. So I'm gonna give y'all
Like it.
something that nobody else has received yet. So my latest release for Benny's Beverage Depot. For those that don't know, Benny's is like Total Wine or Specs, but it's just in Illinois. They have 46 locations, and I'm carrying in all 46. So the original release I did for Benny's, special release I did for them was called John Baptiste. That was to pay homage to John Baptiste Point du Sable, the founder of Chicago. He's a Haitian man. So I wanted to make sure that people knew that Chicago was founded by a black guy. So that was the first release I did for them. It did so well. At first, it came out in bundles. It did so well that Benny's reordered John Baptiste, and now it's coming back in boxes. It's supposed to be in the States next week. So those that have been looking for John Baptiste, you will be able to get it. Like once they it has to hit their warehouse and then go through their system, and then they'll ship them out to the store. So it'll probably be on the shelves in the next maybe 2 or 3 weeks. But there's also another release coming along with John Baptiste and that's another release I did for Benny's, and it's brand new. So it's my first time talking about it. It's called 1837. So 1837 is the year that Chicago was incorporated. So it's sort of like a follow up to John Baptiste. So that one is a Corojo 2012 wrapper, Nicaraguan binder and filler. It's medium full. So it has a little bit of San Andreas in the filler. So. Mhm.
You know what I realized you haven't mentioned is your release with Cigar Dojo.
Yasuke, or Yasuke, or
Yeah.
Yazuki, or however people are pronouncing it. So I've heard like 8 different pronunciations of it. I just let people do. I was like, "Hey, you like it?" They like, "Yeah, it's great." All right, bet you ain't got to pronounce it right. I've heard it's pronounced Yasuke. I heard it's pronounced Yasuke. So I don't know which one it is. But Yasuke, I normally say Yasuke. So Yasuke was the first black samurai. So he was a real big guy. He was transported to Japan from Africa, and he gained favor of the warlord, and he became one of his top fighters. So I wanted to pay homage to him. There is another cigar on the market that used the name as well. Marlon Wayans is affiliated with a smaller company than mine, and they use the name as well. So don't confuse the two cigars. I think his is called Yasuke Maduro. Mine is just called Yasuke. But the difference is you can't find mine because mine is sold out. So
And it
you
sold
can't
out
get
how
this stuff.
quickly?
Sold out in 6 hours. So
Right.
Oh wow.
Right.
yeah. So
Wow.
no shade to Merlin and his crew, but most people know my Yasuke. So um, due to the fact is it came from me. It was being done for Cigar Dojo. It was sold by Smoke Inn, and it was rolled by Aganorsa. So that's 4 powerhouses that came together that pushed that cigar out. That's one of the reasons why it sold so fast. So
And
I
blended by.
still, mhm. Yeah, and blended by me.
There you go.
Yeah, so
That
yeah,
that was the
so
major difference that I needed you to get to with yours and the other Yasuke. I needed you to say that you blended it
Yes.
and
oh
didn't
yeah.
just put your name on the band. Yeah.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No, I
To-
This is
went and
all
sat in
great
Aganorsa.
information.
I sat in
All
Aganorsa and
great.
put that cigar together in Esteli. Uh, and I had cigar lips. And for those that don't know what cigar lips are, there's like when you smoke so many cigars, like the inside of your lips start to get irritated and a little swollen, and
Mhm.
so I had that going on, and guess what I did? I kept smoking because that's part of the process. So,
Right.
so these cats are just buying bands and just putting it on some existing, but they don't know that process. You have to keep smoking. When you go to the factory, you go to Aganorsa and you sit in there, it doesn't matter if it's Aganorsa, you can go to Oveja Negra or whatever factory it is. When you go in there and you're putting a blend together, you're literally smoking all day long. Like you gonna get to the point you smoke so you be tired of it. But it's part of the process. So you got to go through it in order to get a good product. And yeah, anything that you work hard for is gonna hurt a little bit. If you want muscles and a nice physique, shit, you ain't gonna get it just sitting on the couch. You got to get up and work out and run and all that, and that shit hurts. So, but you get the results. So you got to go through things whether the process is like giving up some money. And when I say give up money, like buying flights, buying a hotel, and getting up out your house and flying to a whole nother country to develop something, that could financially hurt you initially. But once you go through the process, you get all that money back and more. So every bit of the cigar industry is some kind of process. It's monetary, it's physical. Like I said, you smoke so much your lips hurt. That's why you always keep some chapstick with you if you go into because you're gonna be smoking like crazy. You know, you have to get up and travel to events. I average 100 events a year. I don't get the plane tickets aren't free. I got to pay for them, and I got to pay for my team to come. I got to pay for Airbnbs. I pay for their food. I pay for a lot of stuff for them. I pay for rental cars. So that's a financial obligation that you have to keep in account. A lot of times before I even leave the house, I already have a $2,000 bill above my head. That's the flights, Airbnb, cars, and stuff like that. So I have to make sure that I schedule events that cover that and more, so the trips are a profit. Otherwise, if I'm going and I'm just going to break even, I'm not going. So we have to profit on every trip that we go on so I can buy more tobacco.
That's business.
Absolutely.
That's business.
Definitely.
That is business.
And to me, Aric, that is what makes you stand out, because you do take all of the steps and all of the efforts to make sure that you're releasing a quality product.
Yeah.
The love and care that I know you use when making these blends. I know you have a certain goal, and you're not going to stop until you get to that goal for that blend to make it just right.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's
Oh
worth
yeah,
it.
thank you.
If you enjoy good stuff, if you like good stuff. I don't know who doesn't like good stuff.
Right?
So
I mean,
there
if
you
you
go.
if you're
Yeah.
going to spend your money on it, you want
Right.
it to be good.
Yeah. Yep.
See,
It's all
my
about the
thought on it
flavor.
is I always, and I hope some other owners watch this and that earners experience, but when I'm developing the blend, I always put myself in the consumer's seat and I say, all right, so I'm smoking a cigar. Would I, if I was a consumer and I'm smoking a cigar, would I buy this again? And if the answer is no, then that means I need to change something in there. Because I'm not gonna put out anything that somebody wouldn't buy repeatedly. I'm not saying I want your whole humidor. I just want to be in the rotation somewhere, and I'm perfectly fine with that because there's thousands of cigars out there. So the fact that out of 5 years that I've successfully differentiated myself from all these other brands is phenomenal because it's just a whole bunch of them, the legacy brands, the boutique brands. Then it seems like there's some kind of small brand popping up every day. And believe it or not, whenever I see a brand that I've never heard of, I always look them up. I'm looking for your Instagram page. I'm looking for your Facebook page. I'm looking for your website. And then that lets me know where you're at as far as business. Like I see some lines posted on Facebook and they'll post a website. Okay, bet you made it easy for me. I ain't got to look it up. I click the link and it says, yeah, GoDaddy.com. This site hasn't been set up. The fuck? Then why'd you put the link up there? There is no website. So that's weird to me. You don't put a link to something up there and there's nothing there, you know, or you got an Instagram page and there's nothing on it. Like when I started my Instagram page, I didn't have any cigars at all. I was waiting for El Titan to roll them. So what I did was I just started posting a lot of stuff I was smoking. And then when I finally got the cigars, then any other brand that was on there, it stopped getting posted and it was all Black Star Line from then on. So you gotta get your business, you gotta get your ducks in the order in order to have the business. You can't say, hey everybody, I got cigars, and then you don't have any way, they're not really carried in stores. So when I first started, I wasn't really carried in these stores. The only lounge I had was Underground in Fort Worth. That was my first lounge. And I still do business with them to this day. And I'll talk about that really. I did a release for them for Underground Fest in March coming up. So I only had one lounge. So at the time, I was selling direct to consumer on my website. Now, when I got my cigars, my website was already set up. All I had to do was add pictures of the cigars on there, and I was able to sell and make money. And people could click on if I put a link on Facebook or wherever, people could click on that link, and it's actually a valid website where you could actually purchase something. So it's just weird to me if people put up links and the links don't work, or there actually isn't a website. You just have a domain. Like that's just weird business. Now with Underground, I do a release for them every year at NFG. So this one's I always call it NFG 25 because there always is another name for that cigar. Because I bring the cigar out to the masses after I sell it to Underground. So this version of this NFG 25 is Dominican Corojo 99. It's a Havana 2000 binder. And then in the filler, I have Peruvian tobacco in there. I have Brazilian tobacco in there. I have Nicaraguan tobacco, and I have some Dominican tobacco in there as well. So medium full, and strength somewhere in there, depending on how strong you smoke on a regular basis, but full flavor. So that's a special size. The 6x50 is a skinny Toro that I did for Underground, but the release that's coming out for PCA is a 5x50. It's a Robusto. It's the same blend. So, but it's a different size. And like I said, I'll tell you all the name of it and the whole story about it when it's appropriate time.
We have so much information to give our viewers. From this
Absolutely.
one episode with Aric Bey. Thank you. This is awesome.
Yeah, anytime. That's easy.
Got a lot to pass on. I know people are probably
Absolutely.
taking notes right now, or they're, trying to figure out all the things we're talking about because it's so much.
So I have one more question for you. You mentioned, you smoked obviously before starting your cigar line. What
Mhm.
other sticks are still in your humidor that you go back to?
Mm, I I kind of stray away from Dominican cigars. Um, my palate has changed so much, I just don't appreciate them that much anymore. That's more so if it's predominantly Dominican. If there's Dominican aspects in there, I can accept that because that adds a different layer of flavor. Sometimes it adds creaminess to the cigar. So it's a good Dominican tobacco is a good complementary tobacco to use with other tobaccos like Nicaraguan tobacco, maybe Costa Rican, that type of thing. Um, I smoke a lot of cigars. I can more so tell you brands I smoke than individual ones. A lot of times I forget because I'll smoke a cigar and then I'll smoke two more and then I can't even remember what the first cigar was I smoked. So I smoke Foundation. Um, smoke some of my father, Tatawahe, some Roma Craft, limited versions of LFD. La Bocata, I still like that one. The other ones LFD makes, my palate changed. They don't do much for me anymore. They're not bad cigars anymore. It's me. My palate has changed. I like spicier, stronger tobacco, and it just doesn't do anything for me. Smoke Crown Heads. I'm literally all over the place. Like whenever, here's my thing. If I never smoke the same thing, that's why a lot of times I can't remember what I smoked. Because the reason why I don't smoke the same thing is because I don't want to trap my palate. So when I'm smoking other people's blends and their work, first of all, I'm exercising my palate on the different types of tobaccos because they probably using something different than I use. Then two, I'm trying to put myself in the mindset of what were you going for when you made the cigar? And either it's going to be good thoughts or it's going to be bad thoughts like, dude, what the fuck were you thinking when you made this? You know, but, I spend a lot of time smoking other people's stuff from bigger companies to the smallest of the small companies. I will smoke it because it just makes me better as a blender. In my personal collection, I smoke at least 3 cigars a day. If I'm smoking samples, I might smoke 10 a day. But just leisurely, I smoke 3 a day. And in my collection, I have a lot of cigars here, so I could go 2 weeks smoking 3 cigars every day and not smoke the same brand or cigar. Because I collect them, I age them, then I smoke them, and so that's just my personal way of exercising my palate and being able to make myself better. So that's another little insight on what I do. And then also when I'm smoking samples, I do not drink alcohol. I drink water. So I probably won't try to pair one of my potential new cigars until I've smoked at least 10 of them. Because if there's something in that blend that's not supposed to be there or doesn't taste right, I need to be able to taste just the tobacco. I don't want to taste the tobacco and some of the tobacco is being masked by the spirit. Because whatever you're drinking or whatever you ate, that will change how your cigar tastes. So I try to go in smoking samples on a completely clean palate.
What
No,
would
go
you say is your special occasion cigar?
ahead.
Celebratory.
I mean, every day is a celebration of life for me. Every day I'm breathing, I'm celebrating. So I don't have a per se like celebratory cigar. If I'm gonna, I would smoke something that I just really enjoy. Um, Now I'll answer that question like a typical person would. Like typical would be like somebody like, hey, yeah, I spent $50 on this cigar, so I'm gonna, that's gonna be my celebration cigar. I'm like, I'll just smoke that because it's Tuesday. That's just how I feel. But to answer that, maybe an Opus X, Lost City, um, maybe Oyo de Monterrey. Um, I think it's the number two, the Cuban, maybe. You know, what else? I like Atabays. Those are, well, on the more expensive side. Um, but I'm a simple guy, like I said. Price doesn't equate to a good cigar, and that's what a lot of people
Again,
think. They think, oh, well, this
say it
cigar
again.
costs
Talk
60
about that
bucks.
all the time.
That
Yep.
means it's going to
Tell
be
it.
great.
Tell it.
Shit, I had some 60.
Yep.
I smoked some trash $60 cigars, and I know some $5 cigars that'll put that $60 cigar on his back. So that's
Yep.
just, I like, dude, don't worry about the price. Just worry about,
Right.
for one, where the tobacco is from, what factory is it from, the construction of the cigar. That's more what I'm
Mhm.
concerned about. I'm more concerned about the experience than what the price is. Um,
Mhm.
because I'm not gonna say the brand, but I had one that I got from Small Batch for their uh, the membership that they have. So for you pay the membership and they send you a bunch of expensive cigars to compensate for what you pay for the membership. And I pulled one of the expensive cigars out, and it was trash, like from beginning to end. I damn near couldn't finish it. It was that bad, and the cigar was easily a $50 cigar. So price has nothing to do with the quality of tobacco.
Around here, we call that Summer's special lesson for all of her customers. Um, they
Absolutely.
walk in the door, and of course, they want something expensive. They want us because they want to smoke something good. So that's Summer's number one lesson
Yes,
in the
definitely.
humidor when she gets people cornered in there.
Hmm.
Yes, yeah. You can spend $8 on a cigar and it can be better than that 60 or $50
Oh yeah,
smoke, hands
oh
down
yeah,
every time.
yeah.
Hmm.
Construction, taste, blend,
Hmm.
everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree 100%. But
I would like to say this War Witch has amazing construction
oh,
on it,
thank
by
you,
the
Yes,
way. And the flavor is
it's
thank you,
real.
fantastic
thank
It's
you.
on the
real.
cigar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Aganorsa
burning
does a
real
great
well.
job. They have great rollers there, so they don't. Aganorsa doesn't put out bad product. You know,
Right.
and that's just
So,
me being with Aganorsa is just it's my palate on their tobacco. So if you smoke my cigars and then you go get some Aganorsa cigars and smoke them, mine tastes totally different from theirs because my palate is
Yes.
different than whoever's blending their stuff.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
and then what people need to know too is I am the first black blender to work with Aganorsa too. So, and Oveja Negra and Tabacalera La Isla and La Zona.
say it
I'm the
again.
And
first
say it with
one.
your chest.
I'm the second with LT and Lebron. Sean Williams did blends with them before me. So, but yeah, normally I'm the first to do a lot of stuff. So,
We love it. We
So,
love it.
so I need to say this. We're in Black History Month. It is safe to say that you are making Black history, sir. And we
oh
are
yeah,
honored and grateful that you joined us today for the show so that we can celebrate you and honor
thank you,
you for all of your accomplishments in this industry. Um,
thank you.
it is so important for folks to know who the real ones are.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah,
we're honored. We're just
Yeah.
No, thank
We
you.
appreciate
Thank
you
you.
coming on the
It's
show
an
today,
honor to
darling.
be on here. Yeah, I'd love doing
So,
podcasts and
real
stuff.
quick,
So,
you
hmm
mentioned your website. Where else can
hmm
folks get your cigars? Because I know you said that you originally were only in underground, but you're in how many shops now across the country?
mm, guessing maybe 120, somewhere in there, I guess. So if you go to my website, blackstarline.shop, there is a where to buy section on there. So I don't sell direct to consumer anymore. So you can't buy directly from me, but it has all the online shops that you could buy from if you don't have a brick and mortar that's near you. But it also has all the brick and mortars that we're carried at right now on there too. So you can find us is like I said, it's blackstarline.shop, and then go to the where to buy section, and then you'll see like everywhere you could possibly find us. Online, of course, small batch. I think Provider Club still has some of my stuff. Underground, Black Lion Luxury. You can buy online through all of them. So and there's others. I don't remember them all off the top of my head.
Well, I know locally you can be found here in the Cincinnati area at Party Source,
Yep, and we're
and
still
I
working
do
on
want to
Jungle
say,
Gems too.
correct. If you haven't smoked and you are local, you better go to Party Source and cop several.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Because
sure.
if you haven't smoked them, you're missing out. I'm smoking the Lalabella, which is my favorite.
Hmm.
yeah,
And again, I love the stories behind every single one. It shows a way of, yes, we're enjoying a stick. Yes, we're relaxing, but at the same time, there's history behind it. And I
Yes.
love the highlighting of that history.
I think people love
yeah.
that. I mean, you're savoring
Oh
the
yeah,
flavors, the blend, but you're also savoring the story. You're passing it
yeah,
on, and
Hmm.
again, like I say all the time, the leaf unites people,
Hmm.
and so now there's a story around what
Hmm.
I'm
yeah,
smoking, uniting people, and we're talking about it.
Hmm.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, I was raised by
bravo.
two educators, so that's where I got, like teaching people stuff. So not only do I want you to enjoy the blend, but I want you to learn something too. And that's not just for people other than us to learn about our culture. Some of our people, we don't know our own culture. So everybody
Yeah,
learns something.
Correct.
yeah.
Absolutely.
We learned a lot today.
We did, and I hope
Yes,
I hope our
definitely.
viewers did as well. We will definitely have to put a link to your shop or to your website in the comments. Um, and I hope and hope and hope that folks go out and find Black Star Line locally or just order them online because you have to experience them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's been an
Yeah.
honor.
So yeah, all my blends are good. It's just if you're if you're like full body, full string smoker, then you may not like El Milagro Coro. I mean, not El Milagro Sun Grown, because El Milagro Sun Grown is a medium strength cigar. It doesn't mean it's a bad cigar. It just means it's not that particular one's not strong enough for you. But all the blends are good. And if you're, I made all these blends for true smokers. When I say true smokers, like I consider a true smoker, you can go. Some people could go all the way down to a mild cigar and then go all the way up to a full body cigar and enjoy both sides of the spectrum. I make medium all the way up to full. I don't do mild. Now those are just cigars. I just don't enjoy them. So I would have a hard time developing one because I wouldn't like it. I mean, I'm sure the public would like it, but I like to be able to talk about the cigars. And if it's a cigar that I made and I don't like it, I'm not gonna push it. So that's why I haven't made a mild cigar yet. But I may challenge myself to do it one day.
Oh, I'm honored that you joined us today. I think we have like 3 or more shows
Yes,
out of
Absolutely.
this whole
definitely.
conversation. This is one of the best cigar conversations that I've had. So I just want to thank you. And again, I'm just so honored that you were able to join us.
Yeah, I made
It's
time
truly
for
been a
y'all.
pleasure.
So I just came from the warehouse and got back to the house. And oh, and that's another thing. I'm the first black-owned company to have my own warehouse too. So I do my own
Mm.
distribution. I don't rely on anybody else anymore. I used to be distributed by Illusione, and they were great with us, but it was time for us to move on and do our own thing. So had my own warehouse, and that's where all my product is stored. That's where my stuff ships from. You know, everything is shipped by either personally by me or by my VP of sales, Cliff. We put it together and ship it out to retailers, and yeah, so we're a small operation that's you know, getting bigger. So
Great. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, darling. Until next time, because we're going to have you back to talk about
definitely.
Oh yeah.
this new
yeah, let me know.
line that's coming out, because that sounds
Oh
exciting.
yeah, oh yeah. When I tell this story, y'all gonna be like, whoa, like whoa. And then when I tell you how I found it, you really gonna be like, wow, that's really
Mm.
weird. So yeah, because the story of how I found the name, yeah, I can't wait to tell you. It won't be too long now.
Love it.
Love it.
Well, we look forward to it, and we will see you again soon, darling.
Thanks for everybody
Take care,
that's
Eric.
watching.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Bye.
All right.